In this video, I'm going to show you how to install and configure Aapanel on your server. Hey guys, my name is Raman and welcome to Webby Digital channel. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to install and configure Aapanel on your server. Aapanel is Linux based hosting control panel, just like the CPanel and Vesta CP, which we have discussed earlier. Now, if you're like me, then you're always looking for ways to make your life easier, right? Well, with Aapanel installed on your server, that's exactly what you will be able to do. You will have easy access to all of your important files and settings from one central location. No more navigating through complicated menus or editing text files by hand. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how it actually works. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do it, because that will boost our morale and post more and more videos like this. So let's get started. So here, first thing you need to do is go to the aapanel.com's official website, and or you can follow the link in the description box. And if you prefer to do it by reading it, not watching it, then you have a blog link to our website. There you can easily browse it. Okay, so here we have a Aapanel's installation page. So it's very basic and very easy to actually go through it, just like the Vesta CP or any script. So it's actually based on the Centos. Okay, so if you just go through this forum here, it says the Aapanel is developed based on the Centos. So they recommend using Centos to install it because that's the core language of this particular control panel. Okay, so what you need a server, of course, and you need a root access or something like which can make you install. Like on the AWS, you may not have a root access on instances, but you have access to the SS client from where you can easily navigate and install this particular control panel. So what you need to do is you need a root, you need a terminal. If you are on Windows, then you can use the putty. Okay, and if you are on the Mac, then you can just use the Mac OS terminal to log into your server. Okay, so we have already covered how to log into your root server using Mac OS terminal, which is actually very straightforward and easy. So for the Mac OS, I'm using the Mac OS system. So you just need to press Command plus space and just search for terminal, and it will open your terminal. And here, to connect to your root server, all you need to do is type ssh.p like this, and 168.119.225.217. So it's giving a warning, which I have already made a video, because I have already installed the Ubuntu earlier to this test server. So to flush this host keys on your Mac, you can easily do it by ssh keygen, or type out your IP or domain name associated with your keys. So yes, it just deleted all the keys which are presented on my MacBook. So let's just log in again, typing out the same IP here. So yes, I want to log into this, so it will ask the password. So let me just copy the password here and right click on it, paste. Okay, so permission, let me just manually type it. So it again asks for the current password. So I'm just logging it for the first time, so it just want me to change the current password. Okay, so the new password. Okay, so I'm logging to my server. Don't misguide yourself with this Ubuntu part, but it's actually on the Centos. I'm just renamed that server to this particular name already on my cloud hosting. So what you need to do is just get this particular command and paste that, and it will start downloading and installing your Aapanel. So give it a time. It may take 15 to 20 minutes or even earlier based upon your server speed. So we will be back. So we have got the confirmation that Aapanel is being installed on our server. So it says congratulations, installed successfully. So now what you need to do is you need to copy this particular URL and save it somewhere else, because it's actually the most important part of your installation or your information, because you need this particular URL only and only, not some with the port. Like in the Vesta CP or CPanel, we have a port attached to our IP or a domain name, but we also have this particular code which is actually unique to every installation, which is make it actually very secure compared to Vesta CP and CPanel. So what you need to do is just type out this, make sure it's not secured. Okay, so whenever secured, but if you have a domain on this particular IP already installed, then you can make a panel SSL. So let me just copy the username here. Here is the username. I will tell you how to change your username or password. Actually a very straightforward process. So there you go. So you get all the basic information about the load status and all the dashboard you have. So after the login, you get these two option to set up your application on this particular control panel. So you have a LNP, okay, and you have a LAMP. LAMP is based on the Apache server, which is the web server, and LNMP is on the Nginx server. But I request you to, if you are not familiar with the Nginx, then please go with the LAMP version, which is the Apache. But Apache is very slow. But if you want to come along with me, because I am using Nginx from past 2-3 years, and my websites are loading so fast, and all the processes have become so fast and easy, and it's also lightweight, so it just supercharge your website. So if you're not familiar with the Nginx, don't worry, you will get to know much more about this particular web server in my videos in upcoming days. But if you don't want to take any risk or something like that, then please skip that part and go with the LAMP. But I am going with the LNP because you have to give steroids to your website to perform better on such results, right? So the method is fast or compiled, so it's only based on your preference. So I will just go with the fast. You also have a option to add the DNS server or a mail server. I used my DNS server with the Cloudflare and mail server with the Google, so I don't need such services to be enabled in my hosting panel. But if you want that, then you can surely go with it. You have a DNS server 3 here, or you have a mail server here, which is the 4. It totally depend on you. Obviously you need a database management, which is the PHP.ini. Also you can select your own PHP version. So here version is selected 7.4 and it goes up to 8. That's what I like about this particular panel. You can select your own PHP version which actually compatible with your current software or not, so you can just switch back to PHP version as you may like. So it's actually the upgrade from the Vesta CP. So you can select your own. I will select the 7.4. It's actually the most stable and used on majority of the websites. So pure FTPD, okay, it's a FTP server, and you have a MySQL server. You also have a MariaDB here. Also you have a MySQL LES SQL and all these versions. So 5.7 is actually the stable one, so you can use that also, or you can use the MariaDB also. So that's only depend on your preferences. So here the Nginx, you have a various version of Nginx. So I'm just using the 1.21, which is actually the latest version, and there's also a Giant version that you can also opt for, but I will just use it Nginx 1.21. So I will just click on the one click install, so it will start installing all the application you want on your server. So it will may take time, so we will be back once it installed. Okay, so installation has done and you will get the confirmation like currently not touched. So this is your dashboard. Whenever you log in, you get this nice status bar here. So here you get the load status. If you are loading fine or higher, you will get by percentage here, and you have a CPU usage, how CPU is actually getting used, and your RAM usage and your disk usage. So that's what you can also customize it, but we will talk about that in later. So here is the overview. We have no sites on this, we have no FTP, and we have no database, but we have a security risk here, which is 1. Let's see. So risk is critical. So what it says, check whether the SSH port of the current web server is safe. So if we see my current server port is 22, and if you want to make it a secure, you should go for the modification, but it has a risk level of low, and I don't mind keeping it 22 because it is just for the demonstration. But if you want a video about it, how to actually change the server port, you should comment in the comment box, so I will make a video about it. But I don't need anything, so just collapse the details here and just close this particular pop-up. But there's also one thing: if you want to scan all your security risk or exposure, then you should just click on the retest here and it will just give you the overview. So it has certain security scans, like here if you see the green security highlighter, so here you will get all the scans it has already done. So it's just completely safe for me right now, so I will just close it down. So you also have a software which is available as a paid option, just like the Vesta CP has the add-on of file manager. So you have a security add-ons which are available with the subscription part, or you can also buy it from them. But I suggest you to only buy if you need something from it. But if you want to support them, like me, I have supported Aapanel owners, creators with the donation. You can just go to the aapanel.com and donate how much ever you want. I donated $10 per month because it makes my life very easy. So these are the couple of software you have available at your disposal which you can buy from them. Okay, if you need a firewall, website firewall, if you don't use a Cloudflare or something like that, then you can use the website firewall or statistics or tamper-proof or anti-intrusion to make your site more secure. But if you are just starting it out, just ignore such thing. And here you have a traffic portal here which gives you a nice real-time traffic report and disk input output, how your disk is actually being used. So enough of the basic functionality of this panel. So let's go to creating a website here. So here you have two type of categories. First is PHP and second is Node. And for Node, you obviously need a Node application installed on your server. So for that, you have a application store here. So let's first go to the app store here on the left side, which is actually the game changer in the hosting panels. So you have a number of applications available at your disposal. Okay, and here you have a Node.js version manager, okay, which is available free, and these are all available for paid, which is actually $10, nothing as we compare to other control panels. You have a task manager. If you want to task manager into your control panel, then you can buy from them. What is the task manager? Task manager easily manage processes, startup items, user services. Okay, you can schedule tasks, SSH sessions or something like that. And you have a Apache firewall rules if you want to add that, and Nginx VWF. It's actually a very important extension, but only use it if you know about it. But if you are just starting it out, just ignore that. You have a Aapanel mobile. You can just manage your server through your mobile, and it's only available for the $3. It's actually nothing, so you can just buy it off. So you have a website strategies, all the paid stuff, but the thing is it has other applications available for free, like Nginx server is standard. You have Apache also. As we know, Vesta CP works on the Apache with the Nginx as the proxy server, and this Aapanel has a standalone Nginx server. And if you are just starting on, please use the Nginx server. Don't use the Apache, which is actually the bootloader and give your experience of your website very slow as compared to Nginx. So you have a PHP version available from 8.1 and goes down to the 5. So you have the list of PHP version, and you can, the thing is, you can install multiple PHPs here. Like let me just install 8 version here. So it will just take time. Okay, so it has installed the PHP 8. So I have the 2 versions on here. One is 7.4 and one is 8.0. I will talk about how to switch your PHP version in upcoming minutes. So here you have a pure FTPD and website speed add-on also, which accelerate your website speed. If we click on install here, you can also install that. It will just deload your server requirements. Here we have a Java manager, Docker and DDNS, mail server, etc. And one thing is you have a one-click migration beta. It's actually the best thing happened to this Aapanel. Suppose you want to migrate all the project in this particular panel to another Aapanel, then this particular option is work flawlessly. So I suggest you to, if you are moving towards the Aapanel, then please click on the install and just if you want to migrate that to another Aapanel hosting, I will give you a separate video about it, how to migrate this all the project in this server to another server has Aapanel installed in only in one click. So it's actually the best thing happened to the Aapanel. So you can also install Redis, which is also available for free. There's a tons of applications that are available for free. One thing I just admire it because it doesn't need any Softaculous, which has a subscription of $24 per year. You have a one-click deployment. You have various open source applications available in this particular one-click deployment. You should download that, and it will just take some time to download. Let me just minimize it. Okay, so you have a Python manager. If you have a Python based application, then you can just click on the Python. So it has installed the one-click deployment. Go to the settings. Here you have a CMS option, which is available: Grave admin, Grave, and Joomla, Drupal. Here you have a recommended versions. Here you have a WordPress 5.6, which is already available for free, and you have tons of forums available for free. You have blog, frame, etc., all available at your disposal. So you have a Laravel also. Laravel 7.0. We will make another video how to install a Laravel on your Aapanel. Okay, so this is the best thing which is available for not a Softaculous or something. Obviously Softaculous have a library of like 20+ open source scripts, and it has just, you can say 10 or 12, but it just does the job. So you have FTP storage if you want that. If you want to integrate your server with the AWS S3, then you can easily do that at free of cost. Google Drive, and if you want to send backups to your Google Drive, then you can just click install it. I will demonstrate how to do it in other videos. So Google Cloud Storage if you want to. Sys Firewall, which is the basics, so you can just install that. So webhook you have available, which can set callback scripts. You have Linux tools, you can also do that. PHP Guardian, and monitor the running status of PHP FPM, you can easily do that. Supervisor and log cleanup, so you can also do the log cleanup to just free up more space on your server. Here's the anti-spam gateway. If you are using a mail server, then you should apply this anti-mail spam gateway for your mail server. And Nginx free firewall, so it's also available for free. It totally depend on you. So these are the app stores which is built inside the Aapanel, and you can easily install that at the click of a button, which is actually the best thing for freeloaders like me. So you don't need to just open your SSH client every time you want to install something. Okay, so that's the way to go. Now let's create a website. So you have two options. First was PHP and the second is Node, and for the Node you need to install the Node. That's the separate part. So we have a PHP project here. Okay, so click on the add site. You have three options available. First is create a site with the domain name. Okay, second is batch with some command like this, and you have an example like this. Okay, you can easily do that. And you have WordPress deploy. If you want to install a website with the WordPress straight away, you can just easily do that. What you need to do is just type out the domain here, webby.co, and you have a website title, let's say Webby Digital Marketing here, and you have a language, you have a PHP version. So that's what I was talking about. You can select a PHP version for each of your project. So I want a 7.4 for this, so or you can just put the 8.0 also, but I'm just using the 7.4. So you have a username, you can type it out, current username or old username. You have your admin password, you can just enter any password here, just like that. And you have an email address, you have prefix table for your database. You can choose WP/, which is the standard, but I recommend you to change it to your website or something like that. And enable caching, obviously caching should be enabled. It just make your website fly like anything. Okay, so just click the submit and it will just start creating your website with the WordPress installed. Now second part is batch create. Batch create is also very straightforward. You have a divider like this. Okay, and in the place of domain you just type out your domain. Okay, and in the next part you have a document root. So here is the example of how you can actually use it. You need to type the document root. Document root started with this, and in the next you can type your own document root here, and 1 denotes is for the FTP. If you want FTP, type 1, or if you don't, just type the 0 like here in the example description. And next is database. If you want, then 1, then is the PHP version. So PHP version is 7.4 or 8.0. You can just type that out. Or if you want to just create a website and you will, you know, start creating other PHP scripts or something like that, just enter your domain name. But I suggest you to use a create a site option to create even for the website WordPress. I will let you know why. So here the description will be this, and this website path will be this. Okay, so FTP, yes, I want to create a FTP, so it will create default credentials for you, and same for the database. And if you need a much more secure password, then just go and type web password generator here, and it will open a new website. So let's just say I just want a 20 length tough and generate. So it will generate the tough password for you. Copy and then paste it here. You can generate the same for the MySQL, and for the PHP version it's also up to you. You can select 7.4 or 8.0. If it's about the WordPress, then you can use the 7.4. If it's about something else, then you can use accordingly. But 7.4 is the most stable one actually. And the site category based upon if you have a website around 20 or 30 websites on a single server, then you can create a category out of this in the settings, but I don't need it, so just create a default. Now SSL, if you want to apply for the SSL, click on the apply for SSL. Okay, it will just use the let's encrypt SSL provider to create SSL for you, which is actually the essential part of every website, because Google don't index anything from the unsecured part of your website. So here next is redirect HTTP to HTTPS, obviously, because I want to force it to redirect to my secured version, not the unsecured version. So it will create a technical SEO errors. So it will just take time to create a website, or so here it will give you all the necessary information you need for your project. You have a FTP user profile here, you have a database user profile here. Just copy this and paste it somewhere safe, from where you can actually log in with these details. So click on close, reload the page, so it will just give you an overview which site name status is running. Okay, and the backup, if you want a backup, then you can easily click on the backup. So here is the document root, which gives you or redirect you to the file manager, which is actually available for free, which was not in case of Vestas AP. And if you want to set a quota here, like this website can only use 10 MB of space, then you can actually set a new quota here and save. Because if you are managing your website for your client, then you can just base the set a quota, but it is only available for the pro edition. So that's what make it unique. You have to buy a pro edition. Pro edition is actually very affordable, like $9, so you can just go for it. And here is the expiration is perpetual date, just leave it like that. And note, and if you want to add something from this, like Webby demo project, you can just comment it out here and it will just create that PHP version here, right? So here the PHP, you can actually switch that to PHP 8 and click on switch, it will switch it, right? SSL is not set because my domain hasn't yet pointed out to this particular domain. And if you want, you can easily process that with the help of file verification. Just click on this, click on apply for renew, yes, apply and open. So it has failed. Why? Because my domain is actually pointing out to the another server. So let's just leave it to another video. So you can easily apply from that. Use the file verification because it will only use you a file which is being added to your document root folder, and it will just verify through it, and you will get your own SSL certificate. So you have other certificate. If you have a manual certificate or third-party certificate, you can just enter the keys here and it will just create a certificate for you, and if you want to turn off, you can easily turn off. And certificate holder, you get all the data here. Use the force HTTPS if you want to force all your session to HTTPS. So my domain is not propagating to this particular IP, so it won't let me able to that. So let's just cross it. So here you have a firewall. If you want to add a firewall rules, you can easily do that. And here is the configuration file. So configuration file is site modification. So here you can modify your site as per these categories. So if you have a subdirectory binding or subdirectory in your, then you can easily do that. Site directory, so you can define your site directory here. Limit access, you can also limit access it to some user or some IP or something like that. And traffic control, okay, so you can also control the traffic, because if you are on the metered server, then you just need to control that. You can block single IPs or multiple IPs, and traffic control, you can easily add that. So limit of max concurrency, so what does that mean? It means if the maximum number of users on your site or app is 10, then you can actually limit that. You don't want 11 concurrent sessions on your blog or CMS, then you can just control using this particular section. So here is URL rewrite. What is this URL rewrite? You can actually rewrite all your URLs from this particular option. Here you can actually, if your previous server is on the Apache and you want to translate it to Nginx, then you can easily convert all the URL rules here and click on this. It will rewrite all Apache rule to Nginx rule. So that's how you can easily do that. But if you want to generate a redirection of Nginx, I will explain that a bit later. So here is the default indexes. Default indexes are this. If you have another default index, you should mention it here, like you have app.html or PHP, then you just describe that here and it will load that for you. So here is the configuration file, which is the Nginx configuration file. So if you want to add something like a redirection rule, you can also add that here. So for the Nginx redirection rule, I will just explain that in another video, because it's all about the Nginx. So here's the SSL, like I have already discussed. Here's the PHP version, which we have discussed. Here's the composer, you don't need to add anything. So if you need to add a redirection, you can also use this particular form, but it might not work on some occasion, so I just ignore that. But if you want, source domain will be this, okay. If you want a target URL, you can actually enable that here. If you want a path to be redirected, you can just type out the path like demo path like this, and here's your new URL like newurl.com, and it will create a redirection for you. You can choose the mode, which is the temporary or permanent. Permanent is 304 and temporary is 302. Just close it down. And here's the reverse proxy. If you want to add the reverse proxy like Vesta CP, which use Nginx as a reverse proxy, you can do that. Here's a hotlink protection. I use that because I don't want my media to be copied or hotlinked to some other websites. What is the hotlinking? Hotlinking is just copying your image and showing it to another blog and doesn't change your URL, then it may cause a server load. So you must enable a hotlink protection here, and if someone hotlink your media, then it will turn out to be a 404 error. So you should enable that. So here's the response log. Response log is just the log which you get whatever you try to perform any action on your server, right? And here is the error log. So if you get any error performing any particular task, so you will get the error here. Here is the log security analysis. So you can just get the log scan if log is actually working or not. Okay, so let's just close it down. So if you want to delete your website, you can click on the delete. Obviously you don't want to do that. Here you can also create a default website, default page, right? PHP serial version you can change. That's what you can actually. Here you can actually create a category which we have ignored earlier. So you can create a category here. Now going to the FTP part. So here is the FTP. You can actually see your FTP password here like this. or you can just straight away copy it and it is actually activated. And you can change the path also. If you want to change the path to other domain, just click on here. Here is the path of that particular FT, and if you want to change it, and you can just click on set path. So it will just, you need to change this particular part to it. Like if you just want to show some subfolder of your app to your developer or something, or designer, you don't want to show them all the files in your server, then you can just specify that here, right? And it says in quota not set, quota setup is available for the pro members only. And here is your note, and here you can also change password easily like this. Okay, if you want to delete it, you can delete that. If you want to change the FTP port, which is actually very secure thing to do, you can just click on a default port, or you can mention your own port, and whenever someone log in to your website using that port, only be able to get access to your website. So coming on to the next, we have a database manager. So Aapanel use PHP.ini to manage your database entries. So here it already have created, which we have done for the webby.co website. And here you have couple of things: database name, username, and password. You can see the password just like that and copy that, right? You can set the code only for the pro members. And here is the backup. If you want a backup, just click on not exist and create a backup of your database. And in the import section, you can also import your backup. Okay, and here is the position is localhost. You can also change the position by going to the edit, click on the manager. Here it will open the PHP manager. You can also get access from here, or you can also get the database from a server, right? If you have a server, local server, and you want to get database from it, then you can easily get the database from here. You have a username, password, PHP.ini. So I will create a video how to use PHP.ini for a beginner, then that will be the part of the another video. So here you permission, if you want to change a permission like force SSL something, you can easily do that. You have tools available for your database, right? If something is being entered in your database, like here is empty, you can actually repair any damages to your database, or you want to change something, then you could be able to do in this particular interface. And if you want to change password, you can just do that easily, just like we have done for the FTP. And here's the Docker. If you have Docker project, then you can just add a container here, but for the Docker you need to install the Docker extension. And here's the monitor. So monitor will give you all the processes which is being going on your server, the load average, the CPU, memory, everything you will find here. And if you want to modification, then you can do that easily. So if you want to turn monitoring, it will just give you the notification where your server is actually getting most the load and something like that. Here's the security, which is the firewall. Okay, and you should not play with this until and unless you know about the firewall and its security settings. I use the firewall as a Cloudflare, so I don't need to use it. And going to WF, which is the advanced functionality. Okay, and it's all obviously available for pro. You need to buy that, so it will just give you all these functions. It will stop hackers and prevent hackers to access and block malicious scans. Okay, if anybody is scanning your website like using a spider, or you can just mention that. Here's the keyword blocking. Here's the defend against CC attacks, and only supports Nginx obviously. Okay, so that's how you can easily, you can just browse that what type of data it actually gives or provide. So global website, and they block it. So this is all the blocked website. So I will suggest you to work on this, buy this only if you have a bigger website. Like my client have a website where they get 1 million users, then we actually use it. If you want a video on Nginx WAF, then please put a request in the comment box. I will create a detailed video about it. And next is the file manager, and that's the best part of this particular control panel, because it will give you all the access to your files using, you don't need to use any FTP. You can just browse here. Here is the root directory here, and you just need to go to www and www root. You will get all the website listed here, and you can just edit anything like HTML. You can edit just like the CPanel file manager or Vestas CP file manager, and Vestas CP file manager available for the paid version, so it's available for free. So I love that part. I can easily edit everything from here, don't need a FTP. So that's actually very cool feature. You can add it, delete it, you can upload something file from the upload here. Okay, you can compress it, decompress it, name it all, just like regular file manager works. That's how it works. So here you got the terminal also, so you don't need any SSH client. Like here we are using a Mac client. First you need to do is just type out the password of your root and give it a remarks and login, and your own terminal will be open straight through your control panel. So I love that part also. I don't need a Mac OS terminal putty or something like that. So here's the cron job. As we have discussed, what is the cron? It just give a power to a script to repeat some task which is enabled on your website or script. Like I want to notify my user, so for that I need a cron job to be enabled, or I want to reset some data on my script, then I need a cron. So for a beginner you should understand that if your website or a script need a cron job, then you need to enter a command here, command of cron job here, and just script content right here. So it should be like hourly, minutes, like every minute you just click on the 1 minute, it will just refresh or create a task every minute. So in the task list you will see all the cron job actually enabled here. It says the renew let's encrypt certificate, so it notify the server to renew it and perform the task accordingly. So here we have already done the app store part here, right? And we go to the settings. So in the settings, click on the global. Here you can use close the panel. Only fool will do that. If you have a IPv6, you can just add that. And if you want API to be enabled, you want to get some data through the API to another script or panel, you can use the API version here. I don't. So if you want to add the developer mode, you can just enable a developer mode. It will go into the development stage. So offline mode, so it also depend on your workaround. So aliases, you can also change the alias of this control panel, like here Linux panel, and if you rebrand it to yours, then you can just type that out. So timeout, default site directory, you can actually change that. Okay, if you need something like here www and is here, you want to set site here, and all the site will be saved right through that folder. Okay, so here is default backup will be in this, and if you want to change that, you can easily do that. So here is the server IP, and server time is here, and panel user is here, panel password, or everything is styled here. If you want to set up panel SSL, you can actually do that, set panel SSL, and it will open without HTTPS. Basic authorization, you can also do that. Google authentication is actually the best thing this particular panel has. I want to create a Google authentication. Whenever someone log into my account, you can just click on this set here, but you need a Google authentication application on your mobile. Okay, I will create that also in the next separate video. Okay, strong password, you can actually enable that such that it will just give you an overview that you have to enter strong password on any cases, like on the FTP user password or the database user password. So if you have a team in your business, then you can just enable it and let them use the strong password and don't leave any security footprints. So if you have a domain, just click on that, and panel port. So if you want to change the panel port, you can easily do that here. Panel port are actually unique to every installation. You can actually set the custom port here. Here's the security entrance. So as I've said earlier, that it is also a unique values only appointed to you. So you can just select that however you like. Not logged in response, obviously 404, and password expired not set. If you want to set that, you should do it. Temporary login, if you want to set to non-admins, then you can just set here and it will give a temporary login to your extra user or non-admin user. So notification, yes, email is not sent or something like that, you can just enable it using this. You can also send notification to your Telegram account, you can also set that. So login panel notification, you can also send it via mail. So that's the global settings here. Let's go to the panel settings. Okay, so that's the panel settings, close panel or something like that. So global is which we have discussed everything. So hope you understand how you can actually install Aapanel, configure it and do all such stuff. Now going to some basic tweaking of our everyday website managing life. So here we get the site 111 and security risk 1. Now where you can actually configure your PHP version. So what you need to do is go to the App Store here, go to the PHP. If you want to find out the PHP configuration file, you just go to the settings here, go to the PHP info. You will find all the function actually enabled or disabled on this here with the great table here. MySQL no, which is not being enabled in PHP.ini, and these are some extension like Zend optimizer, exif, GD library is enabled, image magic is not. So you can install these library as an add-on whenever you feel like. So this will tell you which function is enabled and which function is disabled. So you can install extensions from here. So you have multiple extensions available, right? If you want to IronCube, just install from here, which is actually the best. And file info, if you want to get the information of the file, you can just click on here, cache, crypt or something which need your script to be powered. You can install PHP extensions from here. Now go to the configuration file. Configuration file is the PHP configuration file which you can add it through PHP.ini, or from here you can change maximum execution time, input time, memory limit, post max size, file uploads and something like that. Now go to the limit of upload. So limit of upload is here, right? You can just change it. If you have a web hosting something like that or file hosting script, you can just change from here. Limit of timeout, if you have a large website with the heavy website, you can say you can change the timeout here because it may take time to load. So configuration file is this, PHP.ini file is here. So here you can change all the configuration of your PHP. So FPM profile you can change from here. Disabled function, so these are the disabled function which is being disabled on your PHP profile. So you can, if you want to add some function, you can just type it out like exec or something like that, you can add it there and it will disable that also. If you want to enable some functions from here, you can just click on delete and it will just enable it back. And for the optimization part, you can add the concurrency plan, how much RAM it should use concurrently, then you should select from here. Connection, Unix socket, maximum children and everything from here. Load average, so here it just give you all the processes. Here is the session configuration. If you want configure your session from a file, Redis, memcache or something like that, you can easily do that. So here is the logs. So logs are here, whatever you are performing on the PHP will be here. So it will show log. There is currently no show log. So here is the PHP info file, and if you the server PHP info file is here, www/server.php 7.4 etc etc at PHP.ini. So that's where you will find your PHP.ini, and on the Vesta panel you have the PHP in etc/PHP.ini, right? So that's how you can also view your PHP.ini file like that. That's how you can actually configure your PHP inside Aapanel. Let's close it down. So that's about it all. That's what you need actually to get started with the Aapanel. And if you have learned something from this video, then click the like button. And if you want to learn much more about the website managing, marketing and something about ranking your website or something like that, we will be uploading each and every video in upcoming days. So click on the subscribe button because it will boost our morale to post more and more videos for you. So see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.